real. It's a very unlikely chance. Really, we're looking at second place like you're talking about.
Exactly, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that too, because when you look at, and I think Hypoc and actually the rest of the desk touched on this as well. When you look at what these guys have been doing today, Soniqs obviously winning 2 in a row, doing what they needed to do to hold on. Gas Cans and Oath both going out of their way, changing up their play styles, realizing that what they needed to do was take high risk, high reward plays. Now it didn't go their way this time, right? And that's just how it is. But that's what they needed to do if they were going to get the win, right? So you can't take anything away from what Gas Cans and Oath have been doing up until this point. Now, obviously, since it is I guess a race for second, you look and see what Gas Cans are going to do to make sure that they can hold on to that second place position, or what Oath is going to do to try to reclaim that. It's only a separation of 3 points.
This is an interesting plane path because I don't know, Poro. I've been using my powers for evil, and apparently I stretched them too far in that last round, looking for evil circles. But the plane path has the potential to set up some interesting circles as we look through here. Don't be surprised if we see teams go for their normal drop spots. No surprise there. Gas Cans back down towards military base just due to pathing as it moves through. ATC now back over next to North George. Going to be a little bit more calm and kind of relaxed as we move through here. But there is also kind of a lot that's going on over Rajak right now. People are probably going to stretch through. I don't think that'll be too big of a deal, but the real question comes into play is where is the circle going to go? And that's what I was kind of feeling pretty centered this time around. Last round to move through here, Poro. We got to give everybody a fighting chance.
I mean, yeah, but let's why not put Soniqs dead in the center here for the victory lap as they get a beautiful.
They never hang out in Pachinki after like a couple minutes.
But look, hey man, this is still a great circle for them. Let's be real.
It is.
And that's fine. That's fine. Like they have done everything that they needed to do to secure this thing, and they are. You know, I think this is where you start looking at that argument that we were wondering about coming into this. Oh,
look on the map real fast if they can bring it up. Oath looks they had to make a little bit of a reposition way up towards the north. Yeah. They are north of Stolber looting right now.
Yeah, they weren't getting to Milta.
And so, yeah, I mean, that based on the fact that the plane path and how it went through there, that's no surprise. But remember, we are predominantly looking at the fight for second. So Oath being on a little bit of a trash looting strategy to start this off could be a kind of a thing to keep our eye on as we look towards the middle sections of this and seeing how well they are equipped.
Yeah, I mean, some definitely some weird things, and you know, obviously, it's not just the fight for second here, right? There's still,
Zeniths and Rumblers are tied right now.
Exactly. There's a lot of prize money on the line here, especially when you're looking up towards the top 8, top 7. I mean, top 8 really. Every single position can be the difference between $4,000, a couple thousand. I mean, there's a couple of. Everybody's really still fighting to try to get the most positioning that they can on this last thing. That's why, I'm looking over at Duel, right? Duel, this wild up north drop here, and I'm wondering if that's just trying to avoid Zenith, because Zenith drops all around Shelter right there. Duel usually in Milta, they have a tendency of running into each other from time to time. Duel just avoiding that altogether, considering they are just separated by 10 points right now. And as you said, Rumblers and Zenith tied at 147 apiece right now.
Shoot to dodge too.
Shoot to kill and dodge as well. So
I mean, the middle of the pack is pretty tight. I mean, I know people were kind of memeing about the fact that Shoot to Kill was talking about the fact that it is capable for them to step up into that 4th place position. Shoot to Kill have a great game this last round. It is highly possible. And yes, I know Illusion. They're not fighting for first. Let's be real on that. But that was a big game for them and a very much needed set of points for them to walk away with to move into a position to now be tied with Comets. There are a lot of little independent ties that are kind of happening all over this place. And this round is very pivotal for that money that you're talking about, because naturally we do know that DreamHack's coming, and then we know that the PGIS that's going to be happening after that was announced. But every little bit of money that you can stack up now is kind of moving into Christmas. You want to make sure to give your family some good Christmas presents.
Heck yeah. What do you want for Christmas, Matt?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm starting my list early.
Thinking about it. I mean, you already got yourself a nice VR headset, so I'm kind of contemplating that now.
I
It,
did.
it looks pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, I cannot wait to go chase Spooky Ghost wearing this thing. It's going to be fantastic. Actually, it's probably going to be more entertainment for everybody I'm playing with than it is for
I'm
me.
going to laugh and laugh. It's going to be amazing, and therefore only kind of fair to do it back on the other side of it. But let's see how we're looking at. Yes, guys, I know we're talking about VR headsets and stuff like that in the grand final match, but it's just because it's kind of quiet right now. Let's be honest, nobody's died at this point. Whenever we're watching Shoot to Kill kind of make their way up Everest, it's kind of calm.
Allow us the briefest of segues. Okay, so you want something to talk about that's relevant. Okay. First place, $50,000. Soniqs, they're pretty much set, right?
Yeah.
Second place, $30K. Third place, $24K. So we got a battle for $6,000 going on between Oath and Soniqs. Look at fourth place with 20, fifth place with 16.
You get that barn.
There you go. Sixth place, 12,000. Seventh place, 10,000. Eighth place, 8,000. So all. Look, hey man, a lot of money still on the line. A lot of things still yet to determine, other than just first place. But I was about to touch on this earlier with you. Does this now make for the longest time this year in 2020, STK best team in North America, hands down. Not even arguable. PCS2 comes around, Soniqs wins, and everybody's like, okay, now there might be two. There's an argument. STK then comes in group 3, or PCS3 group stages, wins that hands down, and now looking at Soniqs back-to-back championships, are we comfortable saying Soniqs best team NA, hands down, no question?
I mean, it's been pretty dominant so far through PCS3. If anything, it feels like their momentum constantly picks up. Their synergy just constantly gets better as they progress through this. I feel like as of right now, at this moment in time, you do have to say that. Now, by comparison, whenever we look at gas cans, there's a lot of room for them to grow inside of this position. They still have a lot more options to continue to move up. So when we're looking at what's next, that's where I start to get more interested, because we've seen Oath readily competing for those top 3 spots. I mean, Duel is now having its own rise to infamy as they make their way through here. Zenith, Rumblers, all ahead of Shoot to Kill. And, I mean, let's be real. We're still not even done. There are still chances for Shoot to Kill, Rumblers, Zenith to have a good game inside of this themselves and move up into that 4th place position. Or, if you want to do some Godspeed math, they only have to kill 40 people and get a round win, and maybe they can compete for 2nd. Easy.
Well, that adds the next question too, now, doesn't it?
I just feel good because everybody picks on me about my math, so I'm just gonna ride this and like everybody be like, look, Godspeed math, not math.
Well, looking at gas cans and the performance that they've put out in this PCS3, do we put them up at the top tier now? It's been one grand finals. They finished 11th in group stages.
That's my question. Whenever we look back across North America, is we often see breakout first attempts whenever we look at series, all the way going back to NPL and things even before that, where a team would gel together, they'd have a great run in the very first event, and then the second one not so much, and then the third one a little bit less. Now, that being said, I don't know, gas cans feel like they're having a lot of fun playing together, and that's extremely important. Same thing goes for Soniqs. Shoot to Kill,
well, everybody's having fun when they're playing well.
Yeah, but that being said, whenever your team all has a similar mindset and a similar approach into the game, I think that gives your team a lot longer lifespan and much higher growth potential than, oh, we got the best fraggers in a good IGL.
Yeah. I mean, like even with this performance, I don't think it's at all arguable. STK still top 3, top 2, even. I mean. William the hero.
Be free.
It's weird seeing him actually on land.
I'm doing seat swaps around. He's feeling frisky, man. He's vibing right now. He's like, I got goals. He's just looking around on the hunt. Like, look at the way he's approaching in. And that's with a bolt on top of that on the back of a buggy. Yeah, kudos to you if you hit that one.
Luscious locks blowing in the wind as we wait and see where Circle 2 is going to go. And okay, let's give it right to Pachinki. Why not?
Soniqs are running what looks to be a 1-1-2 split across the way. So they're going to have a lot of control over Pachinki itself. Gas cans back over towards the south. Other notables are going to be Oath coming in back behind where you can see the... actually, it's going to be Pat Caps now driving, so it makes it a little bit easier. Just look to the left of where you see them driving, and they're going to be coming into circle. Most of these teams pretty fortified, but the area that we really have our eyes on are going to be Pachinki Hills back down towards the southwest of Pachinki itself, and most notably that area where we already see gas cans playing from. Those are both very popular positions for teams to try to rotate into a circle like this.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of space to be had right now. Now, I will say STK getting a little bit close to hard shifts towards ruins there, and other members of hard shifts have already left. So this is essentially a 4v2, and they're going to open it up already with a down on a Maluk. And Chuba is just going to hop into the vehicle and try to get on out of there. You can already see he's been knocked very low. We'll see if he can actually get out of this, or can they spot him before he gets
you made
gone.
the fatal mistake of killing Maluk first on hard shifts. Now he can just watch all of his teammates and just micromanage.
As Mr. Burns' fingers just together.
Yes. Give me exactly what I wanted to do. Gascan's now making a look back over towards Dodge, who's holding down a nice defensive position at the time. No real third-party potentials, really, just due to the hillside. Maybe Oath might migrate back over towards this direction, but it's all about the aggression on how Honey Badger and the rest of the crew want to play this. Good shot's going to go ahead and connect from him, take down Finna, and the grenade's not going to do a ton of damage. The real question comes to the fact that, look, that it is a full split coming out from Dodge. That means that this res is probably not going to happen. The problem comes in the fact that they have nice side angles as Adam comes up big and gets the shots back over towards Honey Badger. And you got to be very careful as he's taking a ton of damage, but it looks like Gascans should be able to get this res. Oh, no, they're not, actually. That is pretty big because Honey Badger does go down there. So they have to be very careful from the repositions coming out from Dodge.
Yeah, well, now Adam is taking fire from Oath, so he's going to have to make his way around. Finna will get flushed out, and that's going to do, or finished off rather, bleed out, as gas cans now have a spot inside Dodge's compound. Adam is in the middle of a smoke cloud all by himself, though. There's not going to be a whole lot that the squad can do to really support him for the time being. Meanwhile, gas cans, where did their last player go? Did they lose two?
I believe that they're all just
stacked. Oh, Voxic DC.
Ooh, that's. Oh, did that happen as they were making the approach?
He was on. Oh, he reconnected. He was.
There we go.
Okay, all good. We're good. Yeah, he was on the hill, so he has now just reappeared. He is all back in.
Why you gotta make me clench my butt cheeks like that, Paul? We're in the fight for second right now. I got all nervous. Jeez.
Oh boy. Oh, well, it's fine. He's back in. Meanwhile, Dodge is going to leave the compound and at least pull away from gas cans right now. Adam, though, still in a rough position. He has found a shed that he is going to be able to play around for right now, but it looks like Oath is hungry.
Do you know the fact that Dodge are running a 2-1 split now, and Duel coming up back behind the position that we can see Oath trying to position at.
It's not so much a split as Adam is just stuck.
Yeah, he's got himself. I can't tell. Yeah, he's pretty okay there for now. Question comes into play is how Duel wants to handle this. Running this 2-2 split coming up from Oath means the fact that Duel can run right in between him. Pachinki staying centered as if circle karma now rewarding back. It's like, okay, guys, we went everywhere but the middle. This time we'll just give it to you straight. Keep it very simple. Play around Pachinki, and the Badlands and Ruins should be noted are still inside of play, as well as a smidgen of school.
Can Soniqs get the three-peat as their victory lap here? They are going to go ahead and reposition back into Pachinki. We see Duel making their way in on this southeastern edge. Oath was very split here, trying to go after Adam, so looks like they're going to avoid it for right now. But now Voxic has been spotted out. Oldless will go down as Tactical 8 coming up over the hill. Nikos will come up and provide some support. Hopefully Voxic can hold it long enough for Nikos to get into position. Oh my God, William.
What? Just T8. What are you doing to everybody? They're like, okay, if we don't win, we'll just make it to where nobody else wins except for Soniqs. Inflicting casualties back over to the gas cans. And there you go. If you're an Oath fan, you're going to be pretty excited. Only 4 points needed now to surpass gas cans and get that extra $6,000. Rumblers now holding down the apartments back over towards the east of school. Fabled's going to be making a position back around from them as, again, our team's back over towards the southeast, trying to find some type of approach angle as it looks like Duel's just going to separate out away from Oath, allowing them to regroup and potentially allowing Dodge to regroup as well. But Dodge has a new set of goals that look like they want to get a little bit of an attack back over towards T8 right now.
We see a lot of action going around Pachinki here as Wynn just scouting out. Looks like he might have a pretty good idea where Comets is. Here we go. Duel continuing their wrap down from the south up around the north. They're going to get shot at by Zenith, keep their wrap going, but they're not going to find a lot of entrances once they get up to the northeast either, because you have Illusion, Rumblers, Fabled all hanging out there as well. So it's going to be a little bit of a trick here for Duel to find a safe way to get inside of this circle.
Well, that's kind of the factor that we're looking at. We still have 58 alive, 15 teams. The problem is this is just slowly and steadily simmering, and it's about to boil over. There's not a lot of good options for these teams as we continue to just push back in towards Pachinki. We've got the fields surrounding Pachinki itself. The hillsides back over towards the south are good, yes. But then there's the Badlands and that road and a couple of buildings along the way towards the north. And it looks like Wooly has a goal on how he's going to come through here. Just runs right over as he comes through the Rumblers, just taking him down. Pentalil does go down inside of that exchange. But this is pretty open. Los does have himself an angle to work with, as well as Waldo back down that hillside, but it's not very clean. So with the vehicle positioning coming through there, might be able to get a little bit more space. There's also going to be a grenade toss coming out from Dodge to land right back over next to Pat Caps, as Oath do have themselves a little bit of an area to work with, but they moved directly in to get surrounded by Dodge's positioning. They could find themselves picked apart, and they have to play this very, very carefully as the circle again continues to shift back towards Pachinki.
They've already got Pat Caps down. Can't worry about getting the res right now. They got to worry more about figuring out where everybody is. Haxetti from Fabled also going to be shooting down the hill on this, as Fabled still holding their high ground. We'll see a few shots going to come out. They're going to spot out the flanker and Lamp a lot, but now Snakers is going to get spotted by Adam. Adam coming from the low side, taking Oath completely by surprise, and now Relo and Balefrost the only ones up. They've got smokes, they've got a little bit of cover, but that's about it. Dodge has the clamps put on.
Oh, there's not a lot of good options trying to figure out how they want to handle all this. Adam's got himself a very sneaky little bit of an angle to play, but Relo does know where it's at. This is just all an aim battle right now as Oath knows that they're firmly surrounded. Danny G connects back over towards Balefrost, leaving just one up. Is Dodge going to commit to this? Is this how Oath is going to go down? Relo says no. He's going to try to make some type of play. He hops into a vehicle and he knows that he's going to be running into a potential bloodbath. Everybody's crashing back over towards Pachinki. He's trying to make his way up the hillside. He's going to start getting spotted out by Fable, and it's going to be Haxetti starting to take a couple of shots back down through this. He knows that maybe he can get some distance back. He crests the hill, gets a little bit of positioning away, but here's the problem. There's nowhere really too good to go. The buildings right next to him are not inside the safe zone. He continues to have to roll down through. He is going to stop, but this is not safe positioning, and Oath goes down. That means that gas cans are going to cement their positioning for second place.
What a shot by Rip. Absolutely destroyed him. I thought he was safe. He made it to the compound. He gets inside and Rip just puts him apart, and that is going to be Oath ending their campaign in third place. Wow, that was close. That was close. Gas cans also obviously breathing a sigh of relief, but it's not over yet, guys. We've got a lot of teams trying to make it in, and look at all the action we've got on the north side here. Penta gonna finish off the show.
What the hell is happening here? Trying to reposition around.
Kills for duel already.
I don't even know. Pinta does get spotted out, but that's going to be from Luke 12 off at distance. Looking back behind this, they're back over towards the southwest of this position. Now Wooly all by his lonesome. Duel's managed to pick up a couple of kills, but I think they're going to end up a little bit of shy away from trying to attack back over towards O's third position. Do note the fact that Zenith and Rumblers are tied for this point, so that means the fact that they could potentially crest back up and catch up to Duel's positioning. Illusion, who have just been constantly doing so much work today, Top Dog himself, as well as Woe trying to find different angles to work with. Top Dog does go down. ATC still trying to play on the other side of this. Not a lot of good angles to really for any of the defenders to work with, as ATC has the numbers advantage, but shots from range are causing a little bit of trouble, and that's going to be Veritas back over towards the southeast from this position. All the other teams are back over, and whoa, has to just barely dodge that one out. Does get taken down, does manage to dodge the vehicle, but it looks like ATC's vehicle caravan of death is going to continue.
Matt, we have half the lobby is inside of Pachinki.
Pachinki right now. I don't even know.
8 teams.
I said I wanted an urban ending. I wasn't expecting it to be Pachinki, though.
Of all the freaking places. Well, right now, we have to see where this next circle is going to go. If it falls on top of Pachinki, you know it's going to be. You know it's going to be.
Do it.
No,
Do
no,
it.
no.
Oh.
It's going to keep it in for right now. It's not leaving Pachinki till the next circle. That's when it's going to, and you know what's going to, you know who stands to best to benefit off of that if they can hold strong right now? Well, Soniqs and One Eye.
That's also good positioning coming out from them. Veritas also has a good strong position back over towards the northeast. Shoot to Kill has themselves a little bit of place to play as well. Not a lot of teams are really going to have to move inside the circle. Really, it's just Shoot to Kill, the last member for Duel, Wooly, ATC, and Veritas kind of has to regroup. So, I mean, you can see Dodge not too comfortable in position. There's a couple of grenades being tossed back and forth. I don't think that we'll probably see One Eye get too aggressive back over here because there's just too many different firing angles to work around. I mean, you can try to continue to throw out grenades, try to get more damage off, but it's if you leave your building inside of Pachinki, it's its own quarantine right now. You just don't want to leave those houses because if you do, it's going to end up bad for you.
Loeb's doing a hell of a job protecting his squad from the push from One Eye. He's going to get the down on a Delta. That's going to force One Eye to pull back a little bit. Meanwhile, you can see ATC on the move. Veritas going to spot him out, but it's going to be long-range shots. ATC might be actually pulling right into STK, and STK regrouping at the exact same time on the hill. You can see the dark green versus the light green. Michael will find a Gila, though, from range, and there's always still the factor of Wooly, who's snaking right behind there for duel.
Got to be careful. ATC's trying to reposition right up next to him. Sharp Shot's going to try to find the angle, but no! He's going to hit a quick headshot to polish that one off. Sharp Shot buys himself a little bit more space, but Veritas is harassing the side of this the whole way through. Michael is just raining in bullet upon bullet back over towards ATC, and it's been making their life miserable since they won that last fight. Shoot to Kill does have a little bit of positioning to play around, but they're caught in their own little bit of a problem. It's a little bit difficult for them to regroup back over at the edge of the circle just due to ATC and the way that they're playing this. Luckily, Sharp Shot looks like he's trying to go ahead and reconnoiter back over towards the rest of his team, allowing Shoot to Kill to firmly regroup. The issue comes into play is ATC is inside the safe zone for now, but you can see they're not in any form of comfortable position to try to play from.
It ain't great. And you see Michael still has an angle there. Check back in with STK. Civ has himself an AWM. And I love watching Civ play with an AWM. Love watching our Bolty boys anytime we get a chance to. Well, it looks like STK going to do a little bit of repositioning here. And will they be the 10th team now to make it into Pachinki? Why not?
They're trying to encroach over there. One Eye Open's making it a little bit difficult for him. Marcelik does go down as Veritas is continuing to harass off to the side of this. I mean, really, Veritas has control over the north, shuffling away ATC and Shoot to Kill from positions that could be aggressed upon. So if we do see this shift back over towards the north, it's going to be problematic. And there's a touch of a reposition coming through there. Veritas is still very comfortable, but guess what? If you live in South Pachinki right now, your life's about to suck.
You got to cross the street, buddy. That's going to be some tough sledding. Veritas looking pretty nice for this late game here with all that space they've got up to the north. STK going to make the push in, and Manhardy going to go down to a classic STK throwable. We've seen those in the past, haven't we?
Is it finally happening? Are we finally starting to see STK pick up a little bit of momentum, playing off the back foot? Purdy Curdy does get flushed out back behind this. Looks like we do also see Rumblers bouncing into T8.
It's going to be
a careful background through this, but let's be honest, Fable's already holding down position. Comments on the other side of the road as well.
Ooh,
Dodge
Zealot
also trying to find it. If there's just not a lot of good options. So at this point, you can see a lot of these teams just committing to try to get kills. See if maybe they can use that to get a little bit of separation. Rumblers getting a little bit more active, running through. They know exactly where the last member of T8 is going to be at, but it's going to be Rip from Fable that's providing assistance to Zealot. Looking back through that little bit of a gap. Back behind him, he does spot out Dodge, but Zealot doesn't have a lot of options to work with. Quick spray connects and does manage to take down Dodge. Zealot's just living through the chaos that's landing around next to him, is on fire, trying to buy a little bit more space, but I think his health was high enough before that connected that he should be fine. Slowly ticking up meds off of the stims. Going to go ahead and opt into a first aid because he knows he's about to have to move. The blue wall is coming in back behind him. Waldo is committed to this. He wants to try to see if maybe he can get a little bit more distance from Zenith, who are only 1 point behind them at the time, but they are already comfortably inside the circle. Zealot, who's been on fire, quite literally trying to find an angle to work with, takes a couple more shots, has to try to reposition away from it. Rip's going to go ahead and connect back over towards Waldo, so Zealot is going to get a little bit of free liberty to work with. Civ does go down on the other side of this with Shoot to Kill looking back over towards ATC, trying to get the res back over towards it, but has to be careful as Veritas now contently in control of the north, separating back behind ATC and wanting to just kill them all off.
Hardships will find Luke 12. Uncivil is going to be bleeding out. He should be able to get the res here from Halo, but you can see the throwable still coming in from Hardships. ATC, meanwhile, cannot continue their push on the SDK here because Veritas is pulling them from the behind. Now, Detreats has gone down. Detreats has gone down to Tig, so that's going to halt Veritas's push. Everybody fighting all over the place right now as Fabled is also getting aggressed on by Comet. Zealot's still alive. Veritas going to get the res onto Detreats here. ATC, meanwhile, they're going to lose one. Marcelik will bleed out. Sharpshot still down. Norcus, the only one up here, and he wants to see if he can get something off of his STK, but they managed to get all 3 reses back up Matrim.
Nerves of steel coming up from Norcus. That grenade probably landed right in front of his face, but he stayed committed towards it. The fight going on over towards the north and the west are really establishing about half the control over this circle. New circle pops, and it stays down close to Pachinki. Shoot to kill, hard shifts, ATC, all going to have to move just a little bit further. Luke 12 looking back up over towards the church, knows the fact that high ground advantage is going to be a problem for them, and how they're going to play this one out, they have to be extremely careful. Soniqs still in a firm 2-2 split control position as J-Sank trying to find the angle to play with. He wants to come up and finish off shoot to kill, but Luke 12 has another thing to say, takes a ton of damage, but does manage to drop down J-Sank. Now just contending back over behind this Chubba, starting to make the play for this, knows the fact that there is a damaged Luke 12 in front of him. Crest up over the top of the hill, but it's going to be Civ that's raining in the damage. Does manage to take him down, but Chubba gets a little bit more work put back over towards Alo, and now there are just two left up for a SDK. Well, make that one. They're going to go ahead and get taken out. Norcus does survive, ATC being the last surviving team other than Veritas over towards the north. Meanwhile, inside the safe zone, we've got Comets, Soniqs, and Zenith.
It seems like we had 12 teams just moments ago, and now all of a sudden it has dropped down to just 5 as this wild circle finally comes to its conclusion. Soniqs still up, still 4 strong, 3 kills on the board, and they have to worry about Zenith and Comets to their south. But Veritas, they're actually crashing. They're crashing in here.
They've got goals, and they roll right by Soniqs, who are very aware of the fact that Veritas has been active out there. The problem is they're in throwable range, and this is a little bit problematic for what's going on. Getting on near on no life, 2 members already down for Veritas. They did manage to make it inside the zone, but by God, there is a ton of death and destruction coming their way. Just narrowly hiding back into the corner. Jazz is going to buy a little bit of relief for himself. Keenan down on the outside, going to go ahead and get flushed. So just 1 now remaining for Veritas based off of that positioning. Do you notice the fact that Norcus did manage to make it inside the safe zone? So now we have the 2-2 split coming up from Soniqs, as well as a 1-1 split coming up from Zenith. And well, no, I'm sorry. We have a 2-2 split coming out from Soniqs, a 1-1 split for Zenith, and we have Comets back over towards the south, who do have control, but have probably the most difficult position to play at the time, just due to how all of the fighting is breaking down.
Veritas, I mean, their positioning wasn't great on the north side. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to play around, but the full send ending up costing them 3. It's all down just to Jazza now, as we've got 2 solos in Jazza and Norcus. You got the 3-man of Comets, the duo of Zenith, and of course your front runners, your PCS 3 champions, presumptive champions, pretty easily presumptive champions.
Presumptive might be a little bit.
I'm pretty comfortable calling them your PCS 3 champions, back-to-back champions with 4 up, and they have the circle.
I mean, this is a statement if they win this round. To win this many rounds on the last day of competition. It's a
statement to how great it is to loot Pachinki and have the circle fall right on top.
I mean, to be fair, they also do make sure that they win in scrims and in games enough that nobody wants to contest them for it. Comets have quietly been picking up kill upon kill, sitting at 5 kills right now. They do have a little bit of their building in play. Now, the real catalyst that we could see are these damaged teams that are hanging around. We still have 11 alive. But we do have Zenith that has 2 still up, and the 2 solos who are oddly enough pretty close to each other. Jazz is pretty close to Soniq's position, but Nork is coming up back behind that. Comet's positioning are really the most troubling right now, with the exception of maybe Punage. Punage also just has to figure out some way to kind of contest along the positioning. The real only hope that these teams have at the time is if all of them have to push at roughly a similar point and can distract Soniqs on so many different angles, they can try to make something happen out of this. While Soniqs do have a great positioning to play from, they are the targets for every single one of the other 4 teams remaining right now.
I mean, it looks like, for the most part, Soniqs, everybody on their team has either a specific person that they know where they're at, or a specific angle that they're all looking to hold here. Is H-Win obviously holding the angle where Vegas just ran through, because he got absolutely destroyed with the barrel spray. Comet's in a little bit of a trouble now, as you can see. I mean, Soniqs just has this thing completely locked down.
I love the counter throws of Molotovs into the smoke that Comets was trying to lay down. That denies any approach as they come through. Taking that tick damage as they're trying to make their approach will just absolutely wreck them. They're denying any form of approach on that angle. So one of the second strongest team that still had members up, quickly just getting demolished on multiple angles. You can see that Lada's trying to find some way to approach through, but there's just not a lot of options. Strimshy's got the angle for it and drops them down, leaving us with just 4 squads remaining in our final round. Make that 3, as Veritas has 1 member up. Zenith only has 1 member up, and I wouldn't be surprised if Poonage gets flushed out here very quickly. Throwable is now coming out from the other side as Mime is going to try to contest back and deny Zenith any form of approach. Shrimzy's kind of the front man, just bouncing from wall to wall, decimating anything that approaches. And Veritas, you fought for the North. Well, guess what? Now you're going to have to fight your way out of a 1v4.
And here come a million throwables right on top of Jazza. He's going to see what he can try to do, but he's probably going to be deaf and blind for the next
With
5 years.
Give it to us, Tig.
No.
Give it to us, Tig. Give us the disrespect. I also see the pan. Do it. 9 kills. Make it 10. Go on the hunt. Give us a pan kill for the victory. Finish it off with style. They're dancing around inside the smokes. They try to spot it out. Mime does go down. Jazz is fighting unfairly with a gun right now. Tig's trying to get a little bit of the spray with the pistol, but he brings out the pan. Goes for the throw. It goes a little bit wide, but he's got goals. Goes back for it yet again, and Shrimzy manages to connect with the Uzi to finish this one off as Soniqs win yet again with a massive